Hi guys, welcome back to ToK Today. And today we're going to be looking at finishing the ToK Essay Draft. It's just a short video, but it may be one of the most important videos for getting a good score in ToK. Before we start, like, comment, subscribe, or share. Show some appreciation for this location. Anyway, 5 tips for finishing the ToK draft so that you get a better score in ToK. We'll go from the least important to the most important. So number 1, quite simply, meet the deadline. Make sure that you hit that deadline. Some schools have a policy of not giving you written feedback if you miss the deadline, and you need that written feedback to get a good score. So make sure that you hit the deadline, and if there's some big reason why you're not going to hit the deadline, make sure that you communicate with your teacher. Number 2, it's very straightforward. Formatting. Make sure that the essay is in font size 12, that it's in a normal font like Arial, Times New Roman, nothing fancy. Make sure that it's double spaced, and that's super important. Make sure that it's double spaced. Make sure that the title is at the beginning of the essay and the word count is at the end, and that all the citations are included. Okay, now we start to get into the more important things. Number 3, signposting. If you don't know what signposting is, it's a way of telling the examiner, or your teacher in this case, where the different parts of the essay are. So the ToK essay needs arguments, knowledge arguments. You might call these claims and counterclaims. You can use the phrase, my first knowledge argument is, or a claim is, or a counterclaim is. This tells your teacher where to look for things. It really helps. It needs evaluation, and you can use the term evaluation, evaluating this point, evaluating this knowledge claim. If you put that in there, the examiner knows where to look in your essay. And finally, for the higher marks, you need to include implications, and you can put that in as well. An implication of this argument is, an implication of that counterclaim is, and so on. It really helps signposting. You might also want to say a real-world example. That helps as well. Okay, moving on. Tip number 4. The essay needs to be as complete as possible, right? Ideally, you're handing in a totally finished and polished essay to the best of your ability that you can do it at that point. There's very little point handing something in which is partially finished, like where you've only done one AOK, or you've just written like 400 words. Your teacher can only give you written feedback once, and they can only give you written feedback on what you hand in on the draft deadline. So if you hand in a partially completed essay, they're only going to give you written feedback on a partially completed essay. A general rule of thumb is that the written feedback will help your essay to go up 1 or 2 marks. So if you hand in something which is only partially done, so it's worth 2 out of 10, then they can only give you written feedback which might take it up to 4 out of 10. It'll pass, but not at a very high mark. If you hand something in that's 6 out of 10 or 7 out of 10, then they can give you written feedback which might take it up to 8 or 9 or even 10 out of 10. So it needs to be as complete as possible. Okay, the final and most important tip is write about knowledge. I bang on about this all the time. The ToK essay is about knowledge. ToK is about knowledge. So make sure that your essay is mainly about knowledge and not about real life situations. General rule of thumb again, it should be about 80% knowledge, 20% RLS, roughly. Maybe 85% knowledge, 15% RLS. Most of the drafts that I see are far too descriptive of real life situations, and they're not analytical enough about knowledge, and they need to increase the knowledge content and decrease the descriptive RLS content. A very rough approximation of how much you've written about knowledge is just to do a Control F, find on your computer, put in the word knowledge, and see how many times knowledge comes up in your essay. I get my students to do this, and if knowledge comes up 30 times, if the word knowledge is there 30 times in the essay, it's all good. If it's there 3 times in the essay, that's really not good. The essay needs to be between 1,200 and 1,600 words when you hand it in. So, how many times have you written the word knowledge in 1,200 words? Okay, that's it, guys. 5 tips for having an excellent ToK draft so that your teacher can give you excellent written feedback, which will give you a great grade on the ToK essay, get a higher score in your DP, you'll go to the university that you want to go to, and all your dreams will come true, all because you watched this video. If you could give me a like, a comment, a subscribe, I'd be super happy. All that's left for me to say is enjoy your ToK writing, have a really wonderful day and an amazing week, and of course stay ToKtastic. Bye.